Brooklyn's Finest.
Yeah.
You being the glue. How did you get Biggie and Jay on the same record?
The hardest part was getting Jay to say okay, because he didn't know him, but I was Biggie's DJ. So understand me, I'm Biggie's DJ, but I'm Jay's DJ by default. So when this thing pops off, I'm gonna be like, peace, Big. You know what I'm saying? I'm Jay-Z's DJ. I'm half of the group. We're a group. Jesus. But I'm on the road. I'm touring with Big, and I'm going back and forth, making the records, making the album.
Wait, how'd you become Big's DJ?
Mark Pitts, who was his manager.
Famous executive.
He's famous, super famous now, but
yeah.
he was one of the managers on Big, and everybody who was part of Big's management team were guys that were like younger brothers to me. So Wayne Barrow, who is Mark Pitts' cousin, Mark Pitts, who was like my little brother, like he's managing Big while Big is at Bad Boy. He manages Big because Mark Pitts went to school with Puff. And now that's, well, fuck him. Yeah, you manage Big. That's where it's going to go down. And he managed Big, and he's like, it's time for Big to do some shows. He's about to put this record out. It's going to be crazy. And I heard all the records, and he was like, yo, we need you to DJ for Big. I'm like, bet. In my mind, I'm going, it's only going to last a certain amount of time, because as soon as we put this Reasonable Doubt out, it's over. But it didn't happen that way.
And what was Big like performing, or his like pre-show rituals, or what was it like before the show?
I don't know necessarily. Well, the pre-show rituals was be high, just smoke some weed, seize, roll up, get some weed, get something to drink, go on stage and do your records. The thing was to make sure that what we did on stage was important show-wise. So before we went on the road, we spent a lot of time at my house just coming up with ways to make the show better than just you going up there and performing your records. So that was an important part. The fact that he trusted me to make him a good show. Mm-hmm. The same way Puff trusted me to make him a good show when he went out to do the No Way Out tour. He was like, yo, I want you to be my DJ. Being my DJ means that I got to really have something to say, so I'm going to help you with your show. Same way Jay did when he went out on the tour with Puff. It was, we got to make a good show. So you sit down with somebody who can make it, same way Nas did when he was going back out on the tour. He was like, yo, I need a good show. Akinelli tells him, Clark makes good shows. We sit down. I make one of his best shows.
And what goes into making a dope show?
Flow is everything. It's the way that it happens when you get on stage, what you see, what you hear. It's all about flow, and the show has to keep going.
This really goes back to the point you made about how being the DJ is the core of everything that you do.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that goes right back into transitioning songs.
Right. How the music happens.
Wow,
it's everything.
Wow. And so how did you convince, going back to the earlier point, how did you convince Jay to get Big on the album?
I just asked him, and he was like, I don't know him. And, Dame was like, yeah, and fuck that, we ain't giving Puff no money. And I was like, well, I know him. I know him. I'm on the road with him. Like, let me see. And he was like, if you get him to say yes, then it's all good. We'll see. I got him to say yes because I know he wanted the beat in the first place. So I brought him upstairs. I did it real funny style. So I was at Unique Studios before recording for Junior Mafia.
Okay.
So I know I got a session at a certain time with Jay, but we're going through beats for Junior Mafia, and he heard Brooklyn's Finest beat by accident. He was like, he wanted that, and I'm like, you can't have it. It's for this guy. He was like, yo, you give him everything. That bullshit. And then I was like, nah, you can't have it. Some more beats played. He heard another beat that was for Mad Skills. And I was like, nah, that's for my man, Mad Skills. He was like, fuck that shit. Later on, Skills makes the record and puts Biggie's voice on it. So I'm just like, dog, he wanted the beat, and you're killing it right now. Anyway, so I was like, well, let me ask Jay. because I knew what the song was already. And I was like, it's not Brooklyn's Finest, but let me see what he's going to do. And let me just throw it on him. I said, well, what you do is you come to the studio and wait downstairs. I said, I'm going to ask him, but come to the studio and wait downstairs. He comes to the studio, sees roll up, sees rolling weed. I'm up in the studio. I track the beat. Jay does what he does to it. The song had 2 different titles. It would have been either Once We Get Started or No More Mr. Nice Guy. No More Mr. Nice Guy. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the song was done, and I go, yo, you should put Biggie on this. And he was like, I don't know that nigga. I was just like, I know him. The whole thing. So I acted like I had to go to the bathroom. I went downstairs. I brought him up. Everybody was like, oh, you a funny nigga. And I'm like, let's see if it works. And they didn't even like speak. They just gave each other a pound and started laughing. Wow. And then Jay stood there for 20 minutes listening to the beat, goes back in the booth, changes everything, and comes out and goes, you ready? And Big was like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, I told you, he don't write no rhymes down. Because I was on the tours with Big explaining to my man don't write raps. He couldn't believe it. He was like, nah, nobody. Yeah. First thing was getting him to actually think Jay was dope. So I'm on the road, I'm playing all kinds of shit for Big. I'm telling you, my man's the illest. He's the best. So you trying to tell somebody who's being seen as the best that my man's the best. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What you thinking is cool, but my man is the illest. So he finally gets to the point where he is Dead Presidents Part 2. And Un calls on the road and goes, yo, your man, Clark? And he's, Big, did you hear this? And he's like, oh, shit, nah, that nigga's crazy, Clark. I was like, I told you. So, now, but he has a level of respect now. Like, nah, that nigga's crazy. He's ill. So that happened that way. And like, I was telling him, like, he doesn't write the raps. You know what I'm saying? He thinks them. He was like, ain't nobody doing that shit. Because he writes. So he's like, you can't be that ill and you don't write.
Yeah.
He saw the shit happen in front of him. So Jay went in the booth and changed verses and left space and came back to the space and came back after leaving the space and was like, yo, you ready? And Big was baffled. He was like, nah, man, let me get that. Let me write that out. But from that point on, he was like, Clark, how he do that? And I told him how he does it, and he never wrote rhymes again.
Wow. I'm always wondering when I interview folks, do you recognize the moment that you're in? Like, did you know that, oh shit, this was going to be a historical moment?
No, I just knew it was going to be a great record. Nobody knows when history is happening. It's impossible to know when it's happening.
Did you know that Reasonable Doubt was going to be a historic album?
I knew it was a great record. I knew we were making a great album. I can't say I knew we was making history, because what if we sat down there believing we was making this great album and then nobody believed it?
Wow.
Think about this. We make this album. It only goes gold. 2 albums later, he's multi-platinum. Now everybody goes back and goes, oh.
This is true.
So how did we know? We knew. Y'all didn't know. You had to catch up. Took y'all 2 albums later for you to go back and go, oh, no, that might be the best album we've heard from this guy.